I'd like to welcome the delegates that have come from all over Africa for this session. We are here to converge the voices of researchers, scientists, technicians, politicians, policymakers, and decision makers as we prepare for COP29 that will be held in Baku in Azerbaijan. I believe that Kenya is ready and Africa is ready. Just 2 years ago, we organized the inaugural African Climate Summit, and we took the African position. What is coming out strongly from the African position is re-engineering the global financial architecture with respect to climate finance. The West, which is the largest polluter, has been forced over the years to put in place several funds, the Green Climate Fund, the Adaptation Fund, the Loss and Damage Fund, but commitments have been made in the past which have not been followed through by action. As we proceed to COP29, we intend to put more pressure on the West and the polluting countries to make true their commitments on funding for adaptation efforts in Africa. We are seeing an increase in climate-related security events. Indeed, most of the security instances or incidences in Africa are climate-related. You look at Kenya, the northern frontier, there's always strife between communities. The strife is not political, the strife is climate-related, because they are always fighting for pasture, always fighting for water, always fighting for grazing routes. So we also need, as we approach COP29, to mainstream the issue of climate security in our conversations. The instability in Africa, in the Sahel, where you are seeing a coup belt running from west towards the central Africa, part of it is climate-induced. We also need to ensure that when we go for COP29, and this COP29 has been tagged as a finance COP, we make sure that all those commitments are delivered, but also accountability on how the resources are used once they get down to Africa. A number of African countries are still struggling, and part of the outcome of this meeting is to come up with a model climate change law that the rest of the African countries can adopt. And that is why African parliamentarians are here, so that we can share experiences from the Kenyan, the Kenyan situation. We also have amended our Climate Change Act to allow for carbon credit and carbon trading and carbon markets. And that is a first in Africa, because we believe that that provides an alternative source of financing, an alternative way for livelihoods to be improved, so that we can be able to sell the the carbon credits that we generate, and use that for development purposes. So Kenya has been at the forefront. Kenya has been a trailblazer. We want to ensure we share experiences with our colleagues in Africa so that we are all at the same